Aces High by Iron Maiden. I'm sure you recognize that power chord riff. It's got really cool intros like this as well. You can add some pinch harmonics, also some nice little phrases over here. But we're going to take you step by step through all these parts that make up Aces High. We're going to start with the intro riff, and I'm assuming that you've got the PDF file in front of you open that you can read along with it, so I can make reference to that. And we're looking at the top left-hand corner where it says first intro riff. This is how the song starts. And I'm going to focus predominantly on my fretting hand, so we're going to zoom in there. Now before we get going, please pay attention to my finger numbers. I've labeled them quite clearly for you to see. For the intro riff, we've basically got one finger per fret, so your hand mustn't move. You'll notice my thumb that's saying hi to you now is sort of quite stationary through it. And your first riff should go like this. 2, 4 on the 4th string, down to 1 on the 3rd string, back to the pinky on the 4th fret to the 4th string, and then 2 and 1 on the 3rd string. So slow motion. Now on top of that in red it says please play 15 times before you go to riff number 2. So we're going to do this 15 times. Now also what's very important is a bit of palm damping. We're going to focus now on the saddles by the bridge. We're going to bring your palm in so it's actually touching on the strings. You can actually hear the strings being muffled. This is without palm damping. Your strings are nice and legato, they're ringing out loud. The palm damping offers a gentle hint of muting the string. Simple as that. And when you get to the very last part, maybe then lift the palm. You can see my hands doing a bit of a twitch there. And what that twitch is trying to show is as I go through from the last 4 to the 2, I'm lifting up, which you can see from clearer behind here, to let go of the damping. There's my damping, there's the damping released. And then of course your last phrase as well is slightly different. It goes 2, 4, 1, 4. And if you put a bit of a pinch harmonic on there, it sounds pretty sweet as well. That always sounds cool. Okay, that's your first riff done. Now round about 24 seconds into the song, you're going to hear the drum or the snare drum being hit once, and you're going to hear something like this. It should be a little bit quicker, but I just wanted to play it nice and slow so you can see the finger movement. The legato is now as a result of your palm lifting off, so we're no longer palm damping it. And please watch your pinky there. So your first part of the second bar, or the second part rather, of 24 seconds is going to start with a 10, middle finger on the 4th string. Then a series of hammer-ons and pull-offs. And then you can see I'm pointing at that so you can see I'm not picking the string. Now if I change the angle of the view, we can see now when I'm picking and when I'm not picking. So super slow motion, and you can observe when the hammer-ons and pull-offs take place. And you can see quite clearly the hammer-ons and pull-offs we were talking about. At speed. And then the second part is going to start similar. Now when you get to the 12, you'll notice my pinky is playing the fret number 12. Very important that you get the pinky working. And we're going to alternate the strokes to get the speed. So what's the up and down strokes specifically as I come a bit closer there? And there you can see the... Now if I focus more on the angle over here, you can see the pinky going quite nice to fret 12. Fret 12, of course, is where the double dot is. So your double dot's very important. It's your 12th fret. And you can see the fingers working now nice and closely on the last bar of the second part of the intro. And if I zoom out a little bit, now we should be able to see the entire part of the second riff with left hand, right hand. Observe the picking patterns, watch your fret numbers, read the tabs. If you've got any questions, ask. Here we go. And again, pinch harmonics, always cool. That's the second part. And now we're onto the power chord section. And at 40 seconds into the song, eventually Bruce Dickinson starts singing. And you're going to have this really cool riff that I played at the beginning. And you'll notice the trick to it is very quick, very clean movements. Now on the power chord shape, first of all, there's several ways to play it. I'm starting with an E5 power chord. My first finger is at fret number 7. Pinky is at fret number 9. First finger's on the 5th string. Pinky's on the 4th string. And I'm only strumming strings 5 and 4. That should be your power chord. Now if you want to, you can also put your pinky flat across both strings, so you can actually get string 5, 4 and 3 working. Gives you a bit of a more fuller one. This should be my first place, ideally. And for those that prefer using 3 fingers, you may use fingers 1, 3 and 4. Notice my middle finger number 2 is not being used. I'm just going to put it out the way. Or you can use fingers 1 and 3. That's my least favorite way of doing the power chord. That's my personal favorite. And I notice lots of guitarists do like fingers 1, 3 and 4 again. Okay, that's your way to play it. Now, we need to know where the power chords are. So lesson number 1, do you know your guitar neck? Okay, I was going to go through where to find the notes. If you want to make a note on this, have a pen and paper ready. E is at fret number 7. When you go to the F sharp, fret number 9, up to fret number 10 for the G. And now we go really high for power chords, which we don't normally do that often. Fret number 12 gives us the A. And then you come back the same way. Back to the G at fret 10, back to fret 9 for the F sharp, and back to the E at fret number 7. And then after that, you jump quickly to fret number 10 for the G, fret number 9 for the F sharp, and then super quick change all the way down to fret 5. So your D5, fret 5, back to fret 9 for the F sharp, and then ending on the fret 5. So super slow motion, you're going to have something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the trick is to get your movements nice and clean. I want to focus in my strumming hand quickly. And before we start playing, I want to quickly just point out what my middle finger is doing there. It's actually touching the top string. So there's no ways of this note here accidentally making a sound, because fingers 2 and 3 are actually touching it. So that's what's actually happening there. So you can have a nice big strum now, because you can be safe knowing that your 6th string is being muted by the middle finger. You can see it lying quite clearly on the string there. And now we just need to kick into turbo mode and get this 1, 2, 3, 4. And that follows the words. So if you're singing along with "There Goes the Sirens," it ties in with each chord. So slow motion, there goes the sirens that warn. And you've got, excuse that last chord, you've got the riff linking in with the melody of the song. See, we just need speed with that. And then on the second time around, it looks identical, but you'll notice the last F sharp and D5 has gone. So when I played it through previously, you'd see that the last 2 chords are missing. That's for verse 1A and 1B as on the PDF I sent you. Then for verse 1C, everything you've done simply moves down 1 string. Now, this means your power chord shape has to change a little bit. This is my new A5 power chord. We're using the 4th string for the root note. This is A at fret 7. And notice now the ring finger and pinky are coming into play. So you get nice, all 3 strings, 4, 3 and 2 working together. It gives you a fatter sounding chord. It just makes it a bit more awkward, or challenging rather, to get the pinky working with the ring finger. Middle finger is still lurking around. You can use it for damping, not that important. But the movement is exactly the same. In other words, if you play through your second one, it's the same 7 to 9 to 10 to 12 as you used for the E. You can hear it here. And here's from the A. It's exactly the same rhythm that you just did, only one string down. That's your power chord exercise. Okay, now we're on to the next part of the song. And at 1 minute 9 seconds, they cross over to this riff. Now I'm going to do it slowly first of all so you can see the stretch. I've also swapped my guitar to my other leg now to help me get the reach, because I have to go from fret 2 to fret 9, fret 7, sorry. And it's going to look like this. And the trick there is to play the 7, put it off, while the first finger is still in fret 2. So slow motion. And at speed. And then he goes, which is at speed. And we can actually do that entire section legato, in other words, as many pull-offs as possible. Pick, pull off, pull off, pull off, hammer on, pull off, pull off, and then hammer on there. Yes, you can pick all the notes. I'm not sure what Dave Murray actually does there. It's difficult to see in the videos, but the pull-offs give you a very nice, smooth legato vibe. Really works well. So I'm going to zoom in a bit closer now onto my fretting hand. There we go. And get more comfortable in the chair and hopefully don't fall off. And I'm hoping not to botch this because I'm sitting quite uncomfortably, but I need you to see the hammer-ons. There's the pull-off, all the way to fret 7. And the last phrase with the pinched harmonic, which I couldn't resist, sorry, is going to go 5, 4, 2, 0, and then the 4 pinched harmonic. Now he doesn't do a pinched harmonic. I like it, so for those who want to jump into epic fail, I'm not trying to do it like the original, I'm just getting the riffs because they're really cool. Okay, at speed you're going to have this. Ooh, I made a mistake there, let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, like I said, standing I can play it a little easier, but with the sitting I'm finding it a bit difficult to get my guitar in a sort of upright position and focus at the camera. But that is your riff in slow motion for the next part. Okay. Next up we're going to have the chorus when it says running, scrambling, and let's get the chords going. We're about 1 minute 24 into the song now, and you're going to have running, scrambling, flying as we mentioned. It's E5 back to fret 7. Again running all the power chord root notes of the 5th string, C and D, and it sounds like he's just playing each one once. So it's strum, let ring. But the bass in the background lends itself to a very nice little bit of an extra gallop if you're playing by yourself and you find you're missing a beat. So something like this could sound quite cool. And that would compensate quite nicely if you're playing unaccompanied. But if you're playing with a CD, it sounds like it's just going 2, 3, 4. Like I said, that's a bit difficult to pick out on the original for me. After doing that through, you then shift up 3 frets to G, fret number 10, and you go from G to E flat to F to G, which is fret 10 to fret 6 to fret 8, and do exactly the same thing. And that's basically probably the easiest part of the song. And the last phrase before they go into solo motion, I want to refocus now. And at 1 minute 53 seconds, we're now onto the last riff. Slow motion, open on the 5th string, double 3 double 0, a lot of palm damping, and then this next part, 3, 3, 2, 0, 3, is going to be pull off, pick, pull off, pull off, pick. So slow motion. And this little phrase must be fast. And the second bar, you'll notice, is exactly the same but for the last 2 notes. And then it repeats itself, and you've pretty much got your song. And at speed, just watch for that single 0 at the end of the 4th bar. Those are all the parts you need for Aces High. If you've got any questions, let me know. Sorry about the one bum chord, and have an awesome week. Take care.